Hi, and welcome to the next episode of Belly to Belly. And we're here today to talk about SelectUSA preparation. We're only about 2 months away from the big event, and we're here with a great friend, Frances Simowitz from Quay Acceleration. How are you, Frances?
Great, Bill. How are you? Excited for the conversation today and for the event upcoming.
Yeah, so am I. And so let's hop right into it. We only have a few minutes. So we want to make sure companies coming pre-connect with resources, and obviously getting to know what you do is a real important part of that. And if you wouldn't mind, just give a kind of an overview of what Quay Acceleration does to help companies expanding in the US.
Yeah, so Key Acceleration, we've been around for close to 8 years. We're headquartered in New York City. We build startup accelerators in partnership with different governments and institutions, both foreign and domestically. On the foreign side, most of our programs are dedicated to helping international startups expand to the US market and access resources. So our accelerator programs generally give them knowledge on how to enter the market, how to set up your business here, how to make business connections, the cultural nuances. It introduces them also to a network of people in their industry, mentors, potential clients, investors, and then also gives them access to other networking opportunities through events we host, demo days, all of that fun stuff.
Fantastic. No, and I don't know if the model shifted, but if I recall right from your model, you don't take equity either. You're kind of a different model than most accelerators. Is that still the case?
Yeah, so we have sort of two activities on the foreign side. Most of our programs do not take equity. So we have most of our programs are actually in partnership directly with governments. So for example, like Enterprise Singapore, or we worked with the government of Canada and Australia in the past as well, where it's basically public money that is funded for economic development growth of the businesses in their region. And we are then supporting them with U.S. market entry. So there's oftentimes no equity and sometimes little to no capital injection as well into the program. Sometimes the governments like to have the startups to have some skin in the game. So they'll cover like 70, 80, 90% of it. But they generally then don't need to give up equity. And then we do have our own program that we call Flagship, which any foreign company can apply of their own accord and participate. And in that program, there's an option. They can either pay a flat fee, or we can take warrants in the company. So they have an option there. But those are usually scale-up companies like Series A, Series B that are trying to enter the market.
Brilliant. No, that's great. And it's nice to have that sort of flexibility so the company can fit it to what sort of suits them best. So you've been now participating in SelectUSA for several years. And what is it that brings you back? And why should it be interesting for companies looking to expand in the US?
It is an amazing conference. This will be our 3rd year going. I had the opportunity to speak last year. And it's just like a meeting of all of the resources for these international companies at once. So you have exhibiting all of the US government, so you can learn about the different incentives and programs and advantages of the different areas of the United States. Like even when we're working with companies in the program, while we're headquartered in New York and a lot of our programs run out of New York, they go many different places in the country depending upon the advantages of those ecosystems. So like they are all there and you can go talk to them. There's also different investors there, other institutions like accelerators like us. And so there's so much knowledge and connection that can happen there. We also do programs for US governments now as well, post-merger and rebranding to Quay Acceleration. And so we can talk to them, we can talk to our partners abroad, we can meet with different startups. So it's been a really, really wonderful and fruitful conference for us these past few years. And we're always looking to do more with it.
That's fantastic. And so companies coming, and obviously companies coming will be at sort of different stages. Some are already in the US and doing business and maybe just looking to get to that next stage of growth. Others, this will be their first trip to the US and kind of looking at the market. And some will be really used to US customs and sort of networking and sales and connecting. And obviously some, it'll be their first foray. So it's kind of thinking about that context. What recommendations would you have for folks who are coming to SelectUSA in terms of how to get the most out of it?
Yeah, I mean, I there's there's the event app that allows you to kind of prepare ahead of time. I always tell people, and I'm sure Bill, you do too, to prepare ahead of going to a conference. So looking at the attendees, like who's going to be most valuable for your business to meet, and then reaching out and setting up meetings either ahead of time or for at the conference. Like they have these networking tables where you can book meetings for. And so we spend most of our days in meetings with like startups, with the governments, et cetera. And it's super useful, but you have to prepare ahead of time. Also, if you're coming from a very different culture, I would also spend some time kind of understanding what might be some of the US business differences in culture, especially if you're newer to the market and haven't had much experience here. Things like, being on time to meetings and respecting other people's time. We're a very direct culture. So like from a communication standpoint, how brief and concise can you be about describing your business and what you do? So spend a little time looking at those things, and I think you'll have a successful conference.
I love it. Yeah, and the app, just for the audience, the app comes out. It varies a little bit, but probably 2 to 4 weeks before the actual event opens. So there is at least some runway to do that. And actually, maybe another thing to add on to that too. And there are people coming that you can identify fairly soon, as soon as they start putting speakers and other contributors onto the website. LinkedIn certainly a good sort of second wave or another opportunity to pre-connect with folks and whatnot. But yeah, no, the app is invaluable, and certainly all those what do they call it? This sort of the speed networking areas. Just so it's such a great place. But as you said, you have to be on time because those are only like 20-minute meetings. So if you're late, you really you really lose a lot of time. But well, this has been fantastic, Frances. I really appreciate it. I mean, can't wait to see you in a couple weeks. Is it okay if we share your contact info in the description below?
Oh, please do. I'm happy to talk to especially any foreign company or even a delegation that's coming to Select ahead of time. We're excited to be there, and it's what we do all day long is helping companies come to the US. So excited to connect with anyone.
Fantastic. We'll do that. And again, thanks for your time today.
Thanks, Bill.